Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. We are once again going to the beautiful Lone Butte. Well, we're already here, as you can see. We're walking over to the poker room to play some 1-2 no limit, most likely. The list is really long for both games because they're giving away $250 for a high hand every 15 minutes. So we're gonna get on the list for both games, 1, 2, and 2, 3, see which one we get first, and I'll talk to you later. Peace. Again guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tyler Ducato. If you are just tuning in here, I really appreciate you guys coming today. And today we have a pretty action-packed vlog. Not too many hands because it was a pretty short session, but nevertheless I've recorded it and I'm here to share with you. In this hand it's nothing exciting. There's a button straddle and I raise it up to 15 with pocket fives, really hoping to flop quads here for the high hand promotion that's going on. But unfortunately everyone folds, so we just take down the $6 pre-flop, which is really nice. And into the vlog today, we're going to try to play our best poker that we possibly can. I'm going to be honest, I haven't been playing that good lately. I think that I've been making a lot of light call downs and value betting just maybe a little bit too much, which I am a very thin value better in my opinion, but sometimes it can bite you in the ass when you value bet way too often and people just think that you're bluffing and you're really not bluffing, but you show up with second best hands and that's no good. So in the first hand of note here, we have the beautiful Queen of Spades and 8 of Spades. Alright, so you thought it was going to be a little bit better than that, but it's not. We were card dead for about 15 minutes, and we just wanted to play a hand. We have Queen 8 of Spades. There's a couple limpers, and I make it 12 bucks. The lady to my left calls. She should be the only caller in this hand, I believe. Everyone else folds. And we are going to head heads up to a flop. I know that. What is that? Heads up to a flop. We're going heads up to a flop. And the flop is pretty good. Ace, King, Jack with 1 spade. So we have an immediate gut shot straight draw, and we have the range advantage, in my opinion. I think if she had any Ace, King, or King, Jack, or Ace, Jack hands, she would have raised me pre-flop possibly. I know that's not always the case, but I can get value from some baby flush draws here, and I can definitely get value from some pairs that just think I'm full of it, which I am full of it. Unfortunately, I bet 15 on the flop, just hoping to take it down, and she very quickly calls there. And the turn comes out good for my hand, but not for my range. It's the queen. So now I essentially have a really bad bluff catcher if I check it over. So we're going to check it over and see what happens, but she pretty quickly checked back, which is very good. And the river comes out a blank, a 6 of diamonds, and we are looking to bluff her off this hand. I know we have a pair of queens, but I don't think that's good enough to win the pot too often. So I'm going to end up making a bet of $30 here, and then there's going to be a little bit of table talk in this hand as she thinks it over here, so I'm going to let her do the talking. Thank you. So she definitely scares us with the table talk there, but we end up taking the first pot of the night down on a little bluff, and I'm glad for that. In the next few hands, we kind of just raise in, lose some small pots, so we are going up and down. You know, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose these small pots. I just want to show you a couple of them to know that I don't just only play like hands that, you know, make the vlog. Obviously, I make it $12 to $15 all the time with these marginal hands, and you either hit or whiff the flop. So here's a couple of the hands where I lost, and I'm sure there was a couple where I won the blinds and made up for them. Here's a slow motion flop courtesy of the dealer here at Lone Butte Casino. I'm not sure who it is. It might have been Jeff. We're into the next hand here. We have a pretty good looking hand here. 2 black kings. And unfortunately for us, we are going to raise it up pre-flop, get it 1 caller, and then c-bet the flop. But they believe us. So, you know, we're going to show them that we had the goods, obviously, early here in the session. Try to build an image of playing good hands if I possibly can. And I also like to build the image of, you know, sometimes being pretty bluffy early in the session. So just, I guess it depends on what happens first. If I get a good bluff through first, or if I get a nice value hand first. I like to show it sometimes just to get people thinking. In the next hand, early position raises up to $10. There's a caller to me. I call. I think that pocket eights is pretty much a standard, like mandatory call when it's just a $10 bet. Sometimes you can even 3-bet, in my opinion. But this time I just call, and I believe the limper also calls. Early position leads for 20. Next to act calls, which is directly to my right. And I think that I need to be calling here at least 1 time. You know, I have the gut shot. I have the set draw. And as of right now, I still have an overpair to the board, which is always good. That means I'm beating any unpaired hand, and, you know, any hand that's paired up, on this flop may be able to pay off a bet later down the road. The turn is another 4, which is a pretty bad card for me because I don't have a 4, and any of the limpers could possibly have a 4. Early position leads for 25, next to act to my direct right raises to 75, so they kind of get me off the hook here. And I kind of guess out his hand out loud, and I'm like, ace of diamonds, 4 of diamonds, and he's like, yeah. So that's probably pretty close to what he had there, and I'm glad I made the fold there. So sometimes I might get sticky with a hand like that and not fold. In the next hand, there's 3 limpers, so I'm going to bump it up here to 15, and then I get my chips out there just so you can see it. I have a really bad seat for vlogging, in my opinion. I believe I'm in the 7 seat, or the 6 seat. There's only 8 seats, but it's hard to see sometimes when my chip stack grows, so I have to move the chips to the left here when the chip stack grows. But I raise it up pre-flop, and I get called immediately on the flop with $20 bet. And then on the turn, we go check, check. And on the river, he leads out for 50. And I don't know why, guys. I cut out about 45 seconds of tanking here. I pretty much accidentally slow rolled this guy because I think that I only have an ace here. I don't realize that I have a straight. I'm more worried about, I was trying to hit the flush on the back door. I forgot about the backdoor straight, I guess. So I end up making the call, and then when I show the ace-5, everyone's a little disgusted. Not too bad, but I kind of apologize, like, oh my god, I thought I only had an ace. But nevertheless, the ace was good enough for the call anyways, so I'm glad that I made the call. This session, I actually pick up a lot of monster hands, such as like ace-king suited, pocket kings. I think I had 3 times. Unfortunately, no action with any of them, and actually, you're going to see here up in the near future what happens with one of my pocket kings hands, which is absolutely insane. But this one, I just pick up a limp after a raise here, so it's a good little pot. It's good enough to tip the dealer $1. I think I netted a little bit on the transaction. And I don't know where else in the world you can make $11 in 42 seconds and not be able to give one away to a dealer, you know what I'm saying? As the session goes on here, we pick up a lot of playable hands. Like I said, 9 of spades, 9 of diamonds here. We raise it up, and unfortunately for us, we take it down again. I know I say unfortunately. What I mean is that there's no action to be had, but it's still a pretty good game. There's a lot of people that are calling and then calling raises as well. And when that happens, I like to just juice up my raise sizes just a little bit. A couple bucks here and there will really get people to make mistakes and pay off more bets. I have a little bit of a montage here, obviously, going of hands that I played throughout the session, so my stack size is definitely up and down, but it's just because it's from earlier in the session. And I'm just showing you guys some hands that I see here and then don't play and or don't get any action from at all, so I just, don't want to record every single thing and make a template for it. This hand was somewhat interesting, but I do think my vlogs are a little too long for the average viewer. So I am just, condensing things. I end up flopping a pair of 5s with a backdoor straight draw and flush draw. I hit the perfect card on the turn that gives me both of those draws. But then we brick out on the river and lose a few bucks there, which is, it's interesting, but it's really not that interesting. So I don't want to put every hand in the vlog. We do build up a stack here. I'm playing a lot of, pretty good hands in my opinion. As you can see later here in the session, we're going to have a couple monster hands played. The Queen 9 of Hearts, I believe we raise it up and then take down a small pot. Again, just a bunch of boring stuff that you don't normally see in a poker vlog. So I'm just showing you what goes on during a session. Obviously, if you play poker, you know what happens. You raise it up, you take it. You raise it up, you whiff, you lose. All the stuff like that. Everyone's human, though. Don't let any poker vlogger think that they're only winning, because everyone loses. Obviously, I'm actually in the middle of a huge downswing during this session, but it's a good bounce back to try to secure a win here. So let's see if I can end up doing it. Securing a win when you're on a downswing, I think, is a thing that people don't do right. I think it's okay to not hit and run, but to hit and then soon run after when you're in a downswing, because confidence is everything. Here's another beautiful pocket kings hand, and in this hand, I actually feel a little bit robbed. She makes it pretty big pre-flop, like $20, and then I make it 50 with 2 kings, so I know she has a good hand. She folds pocket jacks face up, which is very unfortunate for me, but I show her that I wasn't messing around, even though I was on the button. I thought for sure if I was on the button, she was going to call jacks or queens there, but she may have even folded queens. Here's one of the hands of the night, guys. Not too many more hands to go over, but there's 3 limps. I make it 15 on the button, and after talking with a pretty good poker player, I think I should even be making it more here pre-flop, because the fact that they're already calling, they're probably going to call again, so why not? We actually go 5 ways to a flop, which is very good for my hand, especially when the flop comes out 10-8-6 with 3 clubs. So we have the effective nuts here. If someone has 9-7 of clubs, I'm just going to lose a huge pot, and that's okay. I'm never going to be afraid of a straight flush here because, how often do you flop a straight flush? How often do you flop a regular flush for that? But the middle position player leads right into me for $25. And with the players behind, I think I'm definitely just going to call. There, I believe, is two folds to me. I just call, and then the big blind ends up coming along. So that's what I wanted. He has a couple of green chips back there, and he has about a stack of red. So I think he has about $250 total in his stack. So, and the other guy has about $450, $350 or $450, and I have them both covered, I believe. So we're looking at the turn here, which is a very good three of spades. We still pretty much have the nuts. I hope someone turned two pair somehow with like 6-3, or I hope they flopped a straight with not the flush. Or I'm also hoping someone may have just also flopped a flush, but that is extremely hard. As I'm contemplating how much I'm going to bet, the middle position continues his story for $50. And I think that I can go one of two ways here. I can go with a raise here, which I think is what's better in the long run, get the money in while I'm ahead and while the player shows interest in the pot. But I do think that I can also smooth call again and try to get the big blind to call once more. But I make it 175, and the guy tanks for about 2 minutes and ends up folding Jack 10 with the Jack of clubs, he said. I don't know how you're going to lead out twice with that hand and then not play it. And then he's like, oh my God, I can't believe you bluffed me. So I had to show him the goods there. And in the last hand of the night, guys, we have the beautiful ace-queen offsuit. There's a button straddle, and I make it $15 over that button straddle. And I believe only the straddle calls. And we are going 2-ace to a flop, and it is pretty good flop for my hand, ace-queen 3. So we're just afraid of pocket threes here. He should never have aces or queens, and I bet 20 and he snap calls. So I put him on an ace-x hand at this point because he calls so fast, and there's not really any draws available other than a gut shot straight draw on both sides of the spectrum. I bet 40 on the turn on the 5 of hearts, so it brings in the flush draw, brings in 4 deuce, but I don't think he's ever going to have 4 deuce. I mean, I guess occasionally he may have 4 deuce, but that's going to happen if that happens. He makes it 125. I jam for about 190. He snap calls, and I show ace-queen. He shows ace-5. The river comes out a deuce of hearts, so good thing he didn't turn a flush draw and then get there on the river. But we scoop a massive pot here for a 1-2 game, in my opinion. $457 is pretty good. I know half of that money is mine, obviously, but still, we get a nice little win here to secure a win on the night. Alrighty, guys, a very good result today. We are into the game for $200, one buy-in, no reloads at all. Out of the game for $660 in about 2.5 hours of play. I think that's very, very good in my opinion. I didn't really get put in any only one tough spot where I made a call down and I was wrong, where it was a significant pot of like $50 or something like that. All the other pots went my way, I think. Excuse me, sorry, all the big pots went my way. All the medium pots went my way. Maybe one medium pot didn't go my way. A couple small pots didn't go my way. I made a couple tight folds that probably didn't get videotaped. And I made one pretty loose call with the ace-5 offsuit hand. And I say it's a loose call because in my eyes I was tank calling with just a pair of aces and a 5 kicker. But in reality I actually had a straight. It's not like I slow rolled him too bad though. I literally said like, hey bro, I think I'm nit rolling you. Like I have a weak ace. I don't know if I should call or not. And he only had a pair of 7s, but I didn't even realize that the 5 made a straight. So, whatever. If I realize I made a straight, the one-liner to the straight, if I realized that, then I would have played, obviously would have called a lot quicker than that. Oh yeah, so unfortunate for him. That sucks. And that is actually the same guy that we play the ace-queen versus his ace-5 against. So he turns 2 pair with the ace-5 and I flop 2 pair with the ace-queen. So we scoop in a really big pot there to end the session and can't really ask for more. I'm walking out to the parking lot right now, gonna go home. Again, if you guys want to go and check out that sports book in there, the sports book is, it's not very big. So I think if you're coming to watch a major sporting event, you probably just have to get there a little earlier than you'd want to make sure you have a nice seat. But you can order food in there and everything. So it's a pretty nice little spot to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really appreciate it when you guys do that for me. And I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change.